Hi guys, so I did the West African tour by road, so from Enugu, Nigeria, all the way to Accra, Ghana. And in this video, we're going to be talking about everything that happened, the people, the culture shocks, and of course the books that I read while on vacation. So I'm very excited, and this was also my first time leaving Nigeria. And traveling as a Nigerian is not a small children's play. There was like a lot of things that happened at the border, and yeah, let's just get into it. So my journey started in Enugu, Nigeria. I had to fly to Lagos because the entire trip from going Enugu to Lagos by road is like 10 hours. So when I got to Lagos, I had already made arrangements. So I started planning this like a very long time. So I have friends that are also explorers that also want to travel the world with me. So we started talking about, what if we did the West African tour? We wanted to do from Lagos all the way to Dakar, but as you can tell, we stopped in Accra, and I'm going to tell you why. So we started planning sometime in March. Like, is this going to work? How is this going to work? So I did my research on TikTok. Eventually, I found a very nice driver. His name is Mr. John, from my friend that has done this. Her name is Ore, and she did Lagos to Cotonou. Got to Lagos, I met up with two of my friends, and from there we met up with the driver, and our journey started. So from Ikeja, we drove all the way to Semen border. But let me tell you, the point of when you get close to Badagry, from that Badagry to Semen border, there are like a million checkpoints, and it's not even pole to pole. You will be on this checkpoint and you will see the next checkpoint in front of you. Like, why is Nigeria like that? Why are we like that? So from like, you will be on this checkpoint, another checkpoint is already there, another checkpoint is already there, another checkpoint is already there, immigration, customs, they are like a lot of them. So but because our driver applies that route a lot, so the driver was, he before he even comes close, they're like, they start calling his name, and it made it very easy for us. And apparently, according to the driver, if you have your international passport, they don't worry you, they don't bother you, but they are basically there for people that are going into these countries with only NIN, or national identification number, because they charge more, and I don't know if it's very legal or whatever, but that's the people that's their target audience. Anyway, so we passed through a lot of checkpoints, NDLEA, Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency, and we made it all the way to Seme border. Now, this was also my first time in a land border, and my first time leaving Nigeria. I didn't know what to expect. So we went to the Nigerian side, and they're like, oh, what do you do? They asked us questions. They said no filming, obviously. When we got there, they're like, don't record, because we wanted to record it. So the first thing that they asked us was, what do we do? Where are we going to? So we're like, I said I was going to Benin Republic on vacation. My job, what I do as job, I gave it to them, my phone number, and they said I would give them 2,000 naira for stamping out. I know that it's supposed to be free, right? But I'm not really sure. So I paid 2,000 naira, and they stamped me out and told me to go to DSS. So the DSS is like the place where they check to make sure you're not a wanted criminal. There's like a whole passport of people that are wanted that is on display on the screen over there. So at DSS, they asked us similar questions. What do you do? Your phone number, they will check your passport, of course. After the DSS, they now told us to go to the Benin Republic side. So when we got to the Benin Republic side, the Benin Republic agent was very calm. He's like, oh, what are you guys coming to do? We explained we're coming to on vacation and all of that. So he just stamped us into Benin Republic, and it was 1,000 naira to stamp us in. So after that, there were these other guys that were checking yellow fever, but we also had our yellow fever card, of course. So they checked it, and we were on our way. Our driver was also waiting for us. So he was also the one that was like, don't give anybody your passport. And that's one thing, don't give anybody your passport. Go and stamp in and stamp out yourself. So he was like, don't give anybody your passport. Go with your passport, stamp it in, stamp it out. So that was what we did. And people were also changing money there, but the driver was like, let's not change money here, because again, this is his route. So he took us to this after the border, just a little bit after the border. But please, you have to change your money within that location of the border. Don't leave the border to change your money. So what we did was, after the border, just a little bit, we went to this shop, and that was where we got a Benin Republic SIM card. We did data, and then we changed money. And when we changed money, that was when I realized that we're in trouble, because 1 naira was 3.7 sefa. So that means almost times 4. So anything you're buying in Benin Republic is costing you times 4 what it would have cost you in Nigeria. It was crazy because we used to think that the Republic is easy and all of those things, but it's expensive. So we changed money. We changed, I think, 170,000 naira because we are spending 2 nights and we had already booked our Airbnb. We've already paid our driver. So it was just like, okay, let's cash at hand, right? So after we changed the money, we got the SIM card. I had internet. I was able to share hotspot with all of my friends so that all of us were connected. And so we used Google Maps to start navigating our way to our Airbnb. But it was not an easy navigation. We ended up going 2 times. Like, we went to this place, they say, it's not there, go to this place. And the addresses were in French. This is where I should have taken my French classes seriously, because immediately we passed this, there was a toll gate. So after the border, when you're coming into the country, immediately we passed that toll gate, all the signboards were in French. And that was my first culture shock, because I could see, but I could not understand. So I think what I cannot get used to is reading a signboard and not understanding it. Like, I don't know what that says. I don't know what that says. Okay, that's a lab. I was just trying to use images to understand what the ads were saying and all of that. So it was not easy navigating the address. So our Airbnb is like a 4-bedroom that is on the 4th floor. So it has like a very nice view of like the regular city, right? But it's so cute. All of the rooms have access to balconies. The kitchen is so big. The living room, amazing, fantastic. It was just like a lot of space that we didn't know what to do with it. But at the end of the day, we enjoyed it and we loved that apartment. And our host was really, really kind and generous, because we ended up misplacing one of his keys. I don't recommend you do this, please. It's not a very nice thing to do. Some Airbnb hosts have strict policies with keys, but our host was very nice and warm, gentle. So yeah. Had to buy electricity because apparently your Airbnb cost does not cover your electricity cost. So we had to pay for like electricity, and because the CFA is higher than the naira, because we kept converting our money to naira, like 10,000. We got electricity, we got 10,000 CFA electricity first, and then we had to get another 10,000 because we wanted the ACs to be on and everything because it was very hot. So that was like a lot of money. That's 10,000 is like 37,000. Actually no, 10,000 should be more than 37,000. Should be, I don't know. Yeah, 37,000. Yeah, that should be what. That's what it should be. Anyway, so 10,000 CFA for electricity. That's 37,000 naira for a day. And then the next day we got another electricity, so you can see how expensive it is. So but that day that we arrived, we went to look for Nigerian food. Our driver, Mr. John, was like, I want to take you guys to where you eat Nigerian food. So, and we were very hungry because this journey started very early in the morning. I had a goosey, and they were speaking. The owner of the restaurant is an Igbo guy. I'm Igbo as well. So we were speaking Igbo, my friends and I. And then the guy was just there, like, we didn't know that he could understand us. And we were saying like, we hope this food does not give us running stomach. It was crazy. We were like, okay, should you try this? Everybody, what are you eating? We're just conversing in Igbo, and he was just there hearing us. And was it his girlfriend? I can't remember. So when we eventually ordered, I ordered a goosey. My friend ordered a goosey as well. Then my other friend Chris ordered jollof rice. Eventually, the guy came to speak Igbo to us so that we know that he speaks Igbo, and it was nice. He gave us a rundown of Benin Republic, how the most expensive thing is like housing. So it's like, you have to pay 3 months house rent. House rent costs upwards of 20,000 CFA, depending on the location, of course. So we're just like, that's interesting. So we're like, how is it here as a foreigner? So he said that he prefers here to Nigeria, even though he misses Nigeria, he misses Anambra State. He told us a lot of stories about his father. It was very nice, but he said that he feels very safe. And then we spoke to a girl that was in the restaurant as well. So she's Igbo as well, so she joined in on the conversation. So she was telling us that she feels very safe, that she can take a walk by 3 a.m. in the night as a girl and she will not be scared. So that was the second culture shock. Because it's one thing as a man to take a walk in a city by 3 a.m. What you're worried about is people coming to maybe rob you or something. But before we got back, we went to the beach because It was on our way, and we were so excited. I was so excited. I told Mr. John that I had never been to a proper beach before, which is true. And he took us to the one of the beaches, and it was so beautiful. But we were not dressed for it. We were still putting on our clothes from the trip, and I think I was wearing like a different version of this shirt. So from the beach, we went to the market, another culture shock. The market is inside a house, so it was unlike Nigeria where you have the open markets where you just go and buy stuff. This was like in a proper house, like a supermarket, but it's like a market, and the fan. Everybody had their own section, and because we arrived very late, the market was almost closing, right? So there were people sweeping, cleaning, and doing all of those things. But it was nice. We got chicken, and the Beninese people are also very nice. There were lots of Nigerians in the market as well, but they were mostly speaking Yoruba, so I can't speak Yoruba. But we're like, oh, we're Nigerians, so they started. They were able to give us some discounts on some things. Also, some of the locals in the market cannot speak English, so it was like communicating with hand gestures. Just be like this. We're trying to say egg, and my friends were trying to demonstrate egg. It was so embarrassing. But they got a young girl, and she came and she was able to translate for us. Please, if you're coming to Benin Republic, buy your stuff in Nigeria, like stuff to cook rice, to cook stew, because those things are very expensive here because of the exchange rate. So we got food, we got rice, we got a lot of things, jollof rice, oil, and all of that. I picked up my friend Jess from the airport, and we came back to the apartment, and it was amazing. So Chris made Nigerian authentic jollof rice, and we had that for dinner, and it was the first time that the group chat was meeting in like a real space. So the trip finally left the group chat. Well, there were a lot of talking, and it was the first time for all of us to be together on this trip. All the planning, all the back and forth, all of the drama. There was a lot of drama that happened, especially for Jess, for them to get their visa and all of those things. So after we had that, Jess and I exchanged copies of this book. So this is their copy to me. With a very sweet and wonderful note written on it, and then I gave them my copy of Necessary Fiction. So Necessary Fiction is a book that captures the everyday life, not exactly everyday life really, but a book that captures like some interesting life of some characters living in Lagos. If you're familiar with Lagos, they wrote Vagabonds, which was one of my favorite books from 2022, and then this is their second book, Necessary Fiction, and this is an expansion of their Paris review story called Good Boy. So if you want to know what you're getting with this book, you need to read Good Boy. It's on Paris review. I don't know if it's still free, but it was free when it was published. And also with this book, there's a lot of Nigerian slangs, and it was a very interesting moment for Jess and I, because we were sort of like reading almost at the same time, although they were ahead of me because they were reading on their flights over here. So it was just like they would just be like, what does this mean, what does this mean, and I'll be like, oh, this means that, this means that. So yeah, and this was part of the book I read on the trip, and I highly recommend it. We went to the beach properly this time, so I put on my shorts because again that's why we went to the beach, and we headed off, and the beach was nice. There was not enough sun. I would have preferred like more sun and all of that, but it was really nice. We took some pictures. Jess and I read by the beach. I think that is also something else. It's one thing to be on vacation, but it's one thing to be on vacation with someone that reads and someone that you both love the same book, and both of you are sitting by the water reading the same book and talking about life. And this is the first time you guys are seeing each other in over 4 years of friendship. So I couldn't ask for anything more. So the next day we headed off to Togo, but before then we stopped by the Amazon statue, the 20, I can't remember how many feet tall it is, but it was really tall. We stopped by there, we took some pictures, we read up on the history of Dahomey, and from there we went to the point of no return, which was a very difficult place for me. The point of no return was too heavy, like I couldn't even function there. It was as if the air was dense, and it was really sad. From the point of no return we went to Uida, in Benin Republic as well, where we went to this Python temple, and when we came there, we're just like, I didn't want to put the snake on my neck because I was scared. I'm like, this is scary, but it was also thrilling at the same time. And we paid. I think it was 2,000 sefa per person, and we went in. We had a tour guide. He explained the history, the about Python worshippers, everything. They had a shrine for the Nigerian god, one of the Nigerian gods there as well. And after everything, they brought out the Python, and yeah, it was nice. Put it on my neck for like 2 minutes or something. But after the Python temple, we were back on the road. Mr. John, again, our fantastic driver, took us from Uida and we were off to Lomé in Togo, which the distance was like a 4-hour drive. So if you want to know what happened in Togo, go to the next video. For the full cost breakdown of this trip, check the description of this video. You're going to see how much it costs for Airbnb, transportation, in-city transportation, average on food, average on other kind of expenses, and yeah, so that you can plan your own. And hopefully by the time you're seeing this video and when you're traveling for your own trip, Naira will be stronger, because now Naira is shitty outside of Nigeria. Thank you guys. Bye.